Happy Monday. So here we are, another Monday Mindset, a place where we just look at new ways to open up our week with perhaps some new perceptions, looking into our mindset, and just starting our week with that open place of change and creating more of what we want to in our lives. So welcome to everyone who is here. Let me know that you are here. I really enjoy seeing who comes to see these lives. Let me know where you're from. That would be really nice. So let's dive into today. And for those of you who are coming here because you got the email that I sent out or because you saw my posts on the page, I asked you to join me in a little experiment and said, please do not think about the pink elephant until the live broadcast, which is now. So I bet that you have been thinking about this pink elephant quite a bit since I've asked you not to, right? And we all kind of like know this little trick that we say, don't think about something, and the minute we say that, it just sticks in our mind, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments if that's you, if you resonate with what I'm saying. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leanne, and I am a transformation and mindset life coach. And I believe that everyone has a gift and what to give to the world. And I think that we are all born with that very special and unique thing about us that we have to share with the world. And it's just a matter of us connecting with ourselves to find what that is and show up. And it really is about the journey of finding the courage to show up and listening to ourselves, because a lot of times that inner calling that we have might not resonate with how we were brought up or what society tells us, but it's something that is really kind of like bubbling inside of us, and it is really the core of who we are. And I think that we are all here on this earth to find that special thing about ourselves and show it to the world, because by showing it to the world, that is how we live a more fulfilled life, and we are able to influence the world better. So that is my small message of belief and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Coming back to the pink elephant and what it is for us. The pink elephant is that thing that we put our focus on. And it's kind of like a little counterintuitive, because it's that thing that we focus on that we don't want to focus on. So what happens is that when what we focus on, right, is in our focus. And that is what we see in the world, in our lives, in everything that we do, right? That is the focus. Hi, Serge, how are you? Nice to see you here. We're talking about the pink elephant today and how the pink elephant is what we focus on that we don't want to focus on. So when I said to everyone, don't think about this pink elephant, we all thought about it, right? So when we think about the things in our lives that we don't want and we focus on them, i.e. we focus about all the negative things in our lives, right? That is where our focus is. That is that pink elephant that we don't want to think about, yet we keep thinking about. So we keep thinking about how this person has wronged us, how life is not safe, how people are, not trustworthy maybe, or, whatever it is that we don't have enough money in the bank, right? Do you guys resonate with that one? That is a big one that a lot of us go with. So when we put that focus on those things and we say, well, I'm not going to think about it, right? I'm not going to pay attention to it. That is when it kind of like we actually think about it more, right? So there is this theory of saying, kind of like, well, don't think about things that you don't want to think about, that you don't want to manifest in your life, right? That's kind of like the big thing when it comes to this spirituality of manifesting the life that you want, right? And they say, don't put your attention on all the things that are negative in your life. But like the pink elephant, when we say to someone, don't put your focus on that, guess what? That is exactly what we're going to put our focus on, because this is how our brain works, right? It's kind of like saying, to someone, like banging them with a hammer and saying, don't feel it, pretty much. Anyway, so when we tell ourselves not to focus on something or not to pay attention to something, what happens is exactly the opposite. We pay more attention to it, and it does come more into what we are focusing on. So what I'm trying to say here is, instead of doing that, maybe there is a better way, right? Maybe there is a way that I can actually not focus on that without telling myself not to focus on that, because it's not working this way, right? I'm going to give us another little example, and that is when we tell someone to do something, or when we ask someone, we have that argument with a person that we want something from them, right? And we keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Or they do the same thing with us. You know how we have these, continuous discussions and our arguments that we keep having with people again and again and again and again? Does that happen to you too? Let me know in the comments. Does this resonate with you? So it's very weird how we continue with that same way of trying to do the same thing, expecting a different result every time. But we're doing the same thing. Why would we get a different result? Interesting, right? Do you guys have a place that you have been doing the same thing and keep getting the same result over and over? And it's kind of like, I don't know why it's not changing, right? So here's the thing. What I am suggesting is, instead of telling ourselves not to think about what we don't want to think about, maybe it's just a matter of the way we are seeing it that we need to shift. Maybe just instead of looking at it in the same way, we can actually see it in a different way. What do I mean by that? So, for example, if I'm looking at, Serge is saying you're often ruminating about painful thoughts. Well, I think that painful thoughts are what is holding us back in our life, right? That's kind of like, I don't want to think about it, but I am thinking about it because it was painful. So instead of the bank account, let's use that, Serge. Thank you very much. Let's look at that, thought that is very painful for us. And instead of saying, I'm not going to think about it again, I'm just going to run away from that thought and that feeling, what if we just look at it and try to shift the way we are seeing it, the way we relate to that painful thought? Why is it painful? Maybe there is another way of connecting to that will actually not be as painful, that will shift a new light into this, right? So does that make any sense? Does that resonate a little bit? Let me know in the comments. So I'll give you a little bit of a personal example. Today, to the day, 4 years ago, my father passed away. And I was with him when he passed away. I saw him take his last breath. I felt his last heartbeat. And my life changed forever. And at that moment, my life, the way I knew it my entire life, which had a father figure in it, did not have a father figure in it. My life, the way I knew it my entire life, has changed. And there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of pain for a lot of other reasons too. I was having a hard time in also just finding my own place in life at that time. Life did not happen the way I wanted it to. And there was a lot of pain. Pain about the loss, pain about me and seeing myself. And it was only by being able to see that pain from a different place and allowing that pain to come from a different place of not saying, not looking at it in terms of it's so painful, but rather looking at it in terms of there's a pain here. Why? And it occurred to me that I would not feel that pain and so lost if I didn't have that much love towards my father. And I remember that recognition suddenly shift everything. So it's not that there was no pain anymore, and it's not that there was no grief anymore, and there still is, right? I miss him. I woke up this morning and I lit a candle in his name and I said a prayer, and I've been talking to him all day, and I miss him immensely. And there is a lot of pain and a lot of loss, but I also am able to see it from that different place of, wow, this amount of pain and loss can only happen when there is so much love. So you see how I took that pink elephant, and by just changing that focus on the elephant, just trying to look at it from a different angle, it changed. It had a shift in the way I see it, and in the way that it is giving back to me, right? Does that resonate with any one of you here? Let me know in the comments if you feel that this is something that resonates with you, that kind of like how we shift the way we see things just with a very simple question, right? So if you think about, let's say, even a camera lens, right? And I like to look at it as the analogy of, we have that focus, right? And we take, let's say we have our camera and we're looking into a field, right? And we have a focus. And the focus is on all the ugly things that are in this field. It's trash and blood and corpse and hate and thorns and negativity and crime and betrayal. And then we take the lens and we just gently turn that focus. It doesn't take away all the negative things, but it puts them in a blur. And what comes into the foreground and into the focus are flowers, sunshine, butterflies, fields, flowers, generosity, kindness, and compassion. Right? So they are both there. It's just a matter of the very gentle focus that we put in our perception that will help us look at that elephant or the field or our lives in a different way, right? Thank you. Serge is saying, this is beautiful. I have great respect for your ability. Oh, thank you, to work through pain versus avoidance. Thank you. And Irit says, love all of those. Thank you so much, guys. So by looking at what is happening to us, instead of trying to either run away from it, which, let's face it, like the pink elephant, we are never able to really run away from it because it keeps banging back at us. It keeps peeking up and saying, no, I'm still here. I'm a pink elephant. I'm still here. And looking at all these things that actually pain us, right? So let's take it now into if you guys have any, well, first of all, if you guys have anything that you would like to share here that maybe we can work through out here, please let me know. I would love to, look, maybe is there a situation that you would like me specifically to address here? Please let me know, whether it's here on live or on the replay, please. I just love this kind of stuff. And being able to change that perception, that's what I help my clients do. All the time. And it's just beautiful to see how by being able to just look, it's just a matter of a mindset, right? It's the same thing. Nothing is going away. The situation stays the same. It's just the way that we see it. It's just really that gentle shift of mindset and how we can find the beauty in what is of pain or of a challenge for us, right? So one of the things, let's talk about relationships. You guys want to talk about relationships? There's always a little bit of something going on with some kind of relationship, right? There's always that one person that keeps bugging us about one thing, and we keep trying to kind of like change that. We don't like that. And we keep doing the same thing and it keeps not changing, right? Let's say you have a friend that you keep trying to ask something from, or a partner, and it always gets into that big argument, right? Here's what happens. We keep focusing on how we are saying the same thing all over again and again and again, and they're not hearing us, right? So our focus is basically, hi, Ramona, how are you? So our focus is basically on how they are not hearing us, right? I keep telling them not to do that. I keep telling them that this annoys me and they're not hearing me, right? They keep pushing my buttons. Guys know what I'm talking about? Well, here's another way of looking at it. Shifting that focus and look at it from another way. Why? What is it that they are needing from me. Because if we say the same thing and someone doesn't hear us, it's because maybe we are not talking to them. We are talking about ourselves with ourselves. And what I'm trying to say by that is that, for example, let's say someone is lashing at you, your partner is lashing out at you because something happened and they just kind of like this partner just keeps nagging you about this thing, right? You did this and I didn't want this and now it's happening and this is this and this is that. And they're really kind of like bugging you about that. And it hurts, right? It's not a nice feeling. But you keep pushing away, right? Because we don't want that, so we try to push it away. It's that pink elephant, right? I don't want it. I don't want it. Stop doing it. Stop telling me about it. Stop nudging me about it. Stop annoying me about it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. But they want to be heard. They want to be understood. So the question here is, what is the real issue here? What is really going on here? What is it that they need so that I can be heard? Right? So that person that is nudging, what is it that they need to hear from me? What is it that they're seeking for? And it's not what you think. Most of the time, it's just the acknowledgement. I hear you. I understand you. You're in pain. Right? And when you open that door, then instead of like butting heads on that same issue over and over again, you suddenly open the door. Guess what? Did you just see what happened with my hands? Instead of going like this, suddenly it's like this. And there's that open. And once this opens, this doesn't have anything that it can resist anymore. So we'll have to open up with you. Does that make sense? Do you guys resonate with that? Let me know in the comments. So instead of trying to not think about the pink elephant, and instead of trying to avoid the things that are painful or hard or challenging or annoying or those things that we would rather not think about, right? Instead of trying to not think about the things that we don't want to think about, let's actually, instead of that, give them that space. Just don't try to fight it. That's what's happening. Okay, right? Because there's nothing wrong with wherever it is or whatever the challenge is. It's just a place that you can connect and look at. This is just the now, right? This is a starting point of something that is new. There is always that mindset of how we are seeing things and how we are looking at things. And what questions are we asking it? Are we resisting it, or are we getting a little more curious about it? Trying to find that new place of how we can see things with these curiosity and questions. What else is possible in this situation? What am I not seeing that is available in this situation? How can I come differently towards this situation? What is right about this situation? I love this one, especially when things are going very, very wrong. Like, we have these days where we get like into that really big argument with someone, and it's kind of like that one more time. I love that question of, Okay, stop and breathe. What is right about this? What is right about the fact that this is happening again? And the right thing is usually that thing is kind of like that I am finding that new way of shifting my perception. Okay. So I would like to invite you in this week to look at your pink elephants, and instead of trying to not think about them as pink elephants, try to invite them. Try to see what they are there to serve you with. What lesson is there for you there? How can you look at things in a different way? How can you see things in a different way? What lesson is there for you? What opportunity does that situation bring to you? Okay? How does that feel for you guys? Does that feel inviting, exciting, scare exciting, which is scared and exciting at the same time? Just curiosity. It's not about making anything right, because there is nothing wrong. It's just part of how we grow. It's just part of us being able to change our perceptions, to change the way we are viewing what is. Okay? That's my invitation for you this week. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to ask me some more questions about this and dive into a much deeper conversation, please come and join me in my Milestones of Courage group, where I dive much deeper and I answer questions about all these topics all the time. This is where I hang out most of the time. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week, and just remember, this elephant is there for you. Make friends with it. Okay? Bye, my friends.